Yes, there are a lot that we can do in addressing the issues of leadership challenge, beginning from the presidency down to even the community level. One of which is, of course, understanding why you are in that office. Understanding why you are in that office. It begins from there. Many people occupy offices today. They don't understand why they occupy the offices. It's not enough to say you want to be a president. You want to be a president for what? And what does it entail becoming a president? What do you do as a president? So you need to understand the nitty-gritty of all of this to be able to function effectively. So that knowledge gap must be fixed. If you are aspiring for an elective office, that is the time to gather all of the knowledge that you need to equip yourself before getting into office. But that is largely absent in majority of our people angling for office. Then having been elected, do you stop at that? The answer is no. For instance, in the Western world, where we copy democracy from, when people are elected, there is usually a retreat organized for such elected officers to understand what is expected of them. Do we do that here? Even if we do it here, do we do it with the intent to really equip these people to deliver maximally? The answer is no. Most time is a jamboree. It's a time to go and rest for many of them. They don't even take to heart the call essence of such retreat. That's why we are not getting the best value for even spending those money in causing those retreats and seminars and conferences. So that has to change. That attitude has to change. And most of our elected officers, they believe that because the moment they are elected, they are leaders. That's the negative narrative we are trying to change. We are trying to deconstruct that clearly. That you are elected a representative, that does not make you automatic leader. It's a no-no. A leader does specific things. So until you do those things, you are not qualified to be called a leader, though you may be occupying an office. These are the deconstruction we are trying to do in the coming days. And this is the hallmark of what we do at the Rebirth-Centre Leadership School, where we deconstruct some of those negative vices that run the day-to-day of our system. Now, trickling it down to our young people. Young people should subscribe to training. They should subscribe to learning. The other day, we organized, a program, a seminar where we try to deconstruct that negative narrative that came sometime last year, that education is a scam. But we've been able to prove to them that education can never be a scam. It is lazy youths that find it difficult to go for quality education that came with that toga that education is a scam as a way of excusing themselves. And I've always said that, look, there is no amount of justification that can justify failure. You are not educated, you are not educated. There is no way you can second guess it. So you need to go to be educated. You can be educated formally or informally. Nobody is saying you must go to, all the university of this world before you are educated. No, there are informal education where you can go and learn, basic elementary education. Then you go and hone your skills. You go for skill acquisition. You are also educated. So we are saying that education is a bedrock and is a basic requirement for a nation that must stand out. So our leaders must orchestrate programs and policy that will elicit the support of even their citizens to know that being educated is a requirement, is a must for everyone. So that these people that believe that, it's only prayer that can do it all. Thank God for prayer. But after prayer, there are work that you need to do so that the prayer can work for you. Because you pray without work, then you have not done anything also. So we are saying that going forward, government should formulate policies and programs that will inculcate these values and culture in our citizenry so that we know that this is a responsibility that I owe myself, that I owe my country. Thank you. Very good question that I want to speak to loudly. I've said this severally, and I will say it again, that you are elected a governor, a president, House of Reps, Senator, House of Assembly, or even a local government chairman and a councillor, does not make you a leader. What makes you a leader is what you do with the office. That makes you a leader. That qualifies you to bear the name a leader. So we need to deconstruct that myopic reasoning of those who are privileged to be elected or appointed. This must be deconstructed in the coming days so that people don't miss it. When you take the position of a leader, you believe that you should be at the top and whatever you do is final, even if it is wrong. So we want to see a leader from the point of service. Jesus Christ being an example here is that let him who wants to lead, first of all, be a servant. So go and serve these people. And as you serve them, you earn that leadership, title, not imposing self-imposition on the people. So this is what we need to get. Now, having attained that office, there is a need for constant learning and relearning. So you are able to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And by the time you are able to do this, you see that you drop some old things that does not, speak positive to your current office. And you're able to imbibe new things that will help to, help your government or your leadership, that the people will thumb up for you. Not you doing your appraisal yourself. Naturally, you will appraise yourself better because in your eyes, your actions are justified. But the people you are acting on their behalf will be the one to score you. Because if the exam is given to you to write, you don't mark the exam you wrote. It's the examiner that will mark you. So in this case here, it is the people that will assess you that you have led well. You are truly our leader, or you are not. So we need to get it right. And that also dovetails to, community leadership. When people talk about the challenges of Nigeria, we are quick to put it, on the leadership. But let's talk about the followership. Now, community leadership is critical. Charity, they say, begins at home. Those people who are governors and presidents and representatives today, they come from a community. How is our community leadership going today? There is even nothing much about community leadership again, other than once you are appointed or you are elected a president or a chairman of a community, the next thing is how you are going to build your mansion within the next 1 year. Is that why you are a community chairman? Is that why you are a community president? So those values that are already getting extinct, we need to bring them back. A community leader should know that everything that rises and falls in that community, they are on his doorstep. So it's a responsibility. Community leadership is a position of responsibility that everyone must take up and not gloss over it. So community leaders need to be trained. They need to be retrained. And even community residents need to be trained. They should subscribe to programs that will help to educate them. So much stark illiteracy is, affecting most of our output daily. And it is what you put in that will determine what comes out of you. So we need to go back and recalibrate then so we can have a better leadership. That's a good wake-up call. In the coming days, it's also part of what we're going to be doing. And I'm also employing Nigerian citizens to engage government. Leadership and followership are pari passu. But we talk too much about leadership and we talk less about followership. Now, these are things that will bring a better nation. It has to be the responsibility of all of us. So I'm calling on citizens of this country to work through their representative across board, to come up with policy, legislate on the need for the establishment, which is what we're trying to do, partnering with universities and see how we can make a full curriculum of leadership, a faculty of leadership in all our schools. Let there be a legislation on it so that it becomes, a regular thing, not a one-off thing. We are doing this as pro bono, but let governments like the NIPS, the Institute of Strategic Training and Management that government has over the years train their top management level people on needs. That's a strategic move in equipping top management cadre. Now, when you train the top management cadre and you don't train the lower cadre, how will there be a cross-fertilization of ideas? So that's a gap, which is why we're saying there should be legislation that will enthrone a full-scale leadership training for all cadre, be it top management, be it middle management, and even the low cadre, so that you understand the tenets of leadership and even followership. Policies and programs should be geared in this direction. So it's a wake-up call, and we are using this opportunity also to call on our legislators to formulate laws in this direction where it becomes entrenched. Our school curriculum will now have to imbibe this into their curriculum from even the basic, primary and secondary before you go to the university level. Let a primary 6 pupil understand what leadership is all about, so that as he goes to JSS1 up to SS1, he or she already know what is expected of him or her as a leader. Once this is done, then we are ready to go for a better system. Because if we lament and not take steps, practical steps, strategic steps, we are nowhere. Lamentation does not better people. It rather makes people more miserable than they were before lamentation.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
That's a place. Oh, okay. So, is there any question that anyone wants to ask?
Ask question.
So that's all.
So now the closing word.
Yes.
Closing. Yes.
No, I stopped listening, but that one was very funny.
As a way of admonishing Nigerians, I want to say that every Nigerian should join hands together to salvage this country, because Nigeria is the only country that we can call our own. When you go to another country, you are an alien. You are not treated as a first-class citizen. But you cannot jettison your own nation and, globetrot abroad, and you pride yourself that you are living abroad and your nation is in abject penury. Nobody, there's no pride in that. So I'm calling on all Nigerians, both Nigerians living in Nigeria here and abroad, to prioritize, revamping the Nigerian state by all standards. Let's contribute positively to see that Nigeria becomes a Nigeria of our dream. Arise, O compatriots, Nigerians call, obey. Let us walk in the spirit of that anthem to the extent that Nigerians become a place of value for a nation, value for our citizenry. And those in government should prioritize the people. Let the people come first, because without the people, you are not leading. You are only taking a walk. Let the people be your primary constituency. And our representative, I call on them to listen to the cause of their constituents at all levels. Let no representative tell a citizen that he is busy, that you cannot take a call of your constituent. That's an abysmal failure that cannot be tolerated in these coming days, because the excruciating hardship on Nigerians is taking a level that is unbecoming. So we must join forces together to see how we can salvage this situation. Mr. President, take note that the security of life and property is the bedrock of any government. Mr. Governor, take note of that. Mr. Chairman of Council, take note of this. And use your security vote very well to empower, all the security apparatus to deliver maximally. And let nobody say that, we are overwhelmed. We know that these problems were there before we aspire to so represent the people. Let not overwhelming become part of the slogan that we want to begin to hear, or passing the ball. No. And community policing is my major recommendation, where every community resident is known. Anybody that strays into the community is seen as an alien that's been interrogated politely, and if found culpable with the law, then he's taken and handed over to law enforcement agents to tackle them. By that, we will reduce crime and criminality at the community level. Those living in Abuja today They come from community. And there are people who come from the Abuja community. So community policing is a major recommendation to one of the way in revamping our security architecture. Long live Nigeria. Long live Delta State. Long live Value Rebirth and Empowerment Initiative.